The Diamond Dash around Major League Baseball on this Monday, setting up a new week in the Bigs. We're almost at the 2-week mark of this Major League Baseball season, following the second weekend that we have seen in MLB. Again, it's the Divisional Showdown, it's the in-state Showdown, and the finale of the series between the Rangers and the Astros. Houston on the road. Framer Valdez gets the start. Minus 142 in favor of the Stros. The over-under is 9. DRS, as you line this one up between these division rivals and the state foes, how do you see it playing out today in Arlington?
Yeah, maybe look to the under here. Double digits going to have to get that in order to cash in a total here. We take a look at Framber Valdez, who was very good last year. And again, 50 batters he's faced on this young season so far. ISO power number combined in 0.48, which is great. Weighted on base percentage 323, but certainly not doing anything too terrible. Now, he's a left-handed pitcher, and early on the season for the Texans Rangers, nobody on the team even has more than 10 at-bats against a left-handed pitcher. Having said that, guys like Corey Seager and Adolis Garcia coming in with a 0.0 ISO power number against lefties, so still waiting to see a couple of those guys starting to hit. Let's flip it over to Andrew Heaney, who last year was an okay pitcher in Major League Baseball with 710 batters he's faced. This year, 20 batters faced, which is roughly one start. But how about this? ISO power number through those 20 batters, a 0.0. Weighted on base percentage at a 214. Even though we love that Houston Astros lineup today, for me, division rivals going toe-to-toe, and I need double digits to win this one, I'll lean on the under here, just based on the pitcher form this early in the season. Two lefties on the mound usually can cause a little bit of havoc for those batting lineups early in the season.
The Rangers got a great start in this 4-game set against their divisional foes. They scored 10 in the opening game of this series on Friday. They scored 7 on Saturday night, but yesterday Houston made sure they would not be swept in this series. Now looking to get the split as the Astros won 3-1. When you look at Houston, though, DRS, entering this year as the favorites to win the American League pennant, the Astros and the A's have the same record right now in the American League West, both at 3-7. It's a very long season. 10 games out of 162. But Houston has moved back ever so slightly in the AL pennant odds, plus 390. The Yankees had the second best price, still the second best price, but it was nearly $1 gap before the year got started. Now just 20 cents. The Yanks 8-2 to start this year.
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying what the Yankees have been doing. And also some of those, hey, look, we're going to get our ace back to start at least throwing pitches from a mound, so things might be looking up, and a great start for those Yankees. But let's take a look at the game today against the Marlins, who finally got their first victory of the season. We got about 60 degrees in the Bronx with a wind blowing out the center field, which sounds great. But let's take a look at the pitching matchups and also recommending this. It's early in the season. These things will turn around. But as we just previewed the previous game, Ben, left-handed pitchers early in the season sometimes cause a little bit of issues here. Jesus Luzardo due on the mound. He struggled a little bit last year with right-handed batters, dominated left-handed batters. That's usually what you see from an above-average left-handed pitcher. On this early season here, his combined ISO power number is a 265, which isn't good. If you take out the lefties of the equation, which he's through only 6 at-bats, 32 batters that he's faced. How about this? A 300 ISO and a 321 weighted on base percentage. What does that tell you? If you're getting a hit, it's more likely to be a double or a triple or a home run than it is a single. So you're making contact. But let's flip it over to the Yankees lineup today, Ben, that we anticipate playing today in their starting 9, and take a look at them again. Most of these batters, 7, 8, 9, 10 at-bats against left-handed pitching. We don't have a big backlog of this, but let's take a look at those ISO power numbers, which are so important. Gleyber Torres against lefties this year, 0 ISO. Juan Soto, 0 ISO. Aaron Judge, 0 ISO. Giancarlo Stanton, a 0 ISO power number. Anthony Rizzo, 0 Birdie, 0 Trevino, 0. You get the point on this. We're not ready for left-handed pitching, yet, particularly from a Yankees perspective. Flip it over quickly here to the Marlins side, going up against Nestor Cortez, a lefty who struggled a little bit this year early in innings. First 4 guys in that lineup today, we're going up against a left-handed pitching with ISO power numbers, Ben. 056, 071, 0, 067. Not a lot of offense expected here. It's a shame because it looks like we finally got a decent baseball day hit weather-wise. I just don't know if I can trust it at this point here.
So the Marlins have gone over in 8 of their 10 games this year. Of course, yesterday they edged out their first win of the season to avoid an 0-10 start, but still 1-9. They did victory over St. Louis. And you would hope that, sluggish start, probably booked as the underdog, certainly on the run line a few times in these opening 10 games of the year. Maybe there's a couple of games by just a run. Nope. Miami is 1-9 on the run line as well. The Yankees 3 series this year, opening 4-game sweep over the Houston Astros. They won the series against the D-backs on the road. They won their home opening series against the Blue Jays over the weekend. Bad news for Cleveland over the weekend as the Guardians had to put Shane Bieber on the shelf for the remainder of this year. The Cy Young winner in 2020, the ace of the staff. It's going to be a tough blow for the Guardians. But with that said, the good news, Cleveland's won 4 straight, only played 2 games this week against Minnesota, won both of those games against the Twins. Cleveland's off to a 7-2 start and booked as a greater than $2 favorite, minus 225 against the White Sox today. White Sox opposite end of the spectrum. Chicago just 1-8 to start.
Yeah, Chicago stinks. I mean, let's break that word right now.
Yeah.
They're playing good baseball, but also this early in the season, you take a look at 63-degree temperatures. Again, quite nice for this time of year. Finally, the 40s and the 50s. A slight wind blowing in from left field today. Make big of a difference. But having said that's a high price to pay here for the Cleveland Guardians this early in the season. Tristan McKenzie, who is a solid pitcher, is a right-handed pitcher, only faced 17 batters this year, really struggling against lefties. If we're going to take a look at that lineup for the Chicago White Sox, Grossman, lefty, Yohan Moncada, lefty, Sheets, lefty, Benintendi, lefty, Fletcher, lefty, Schumach, I've never heard that guy's name, Braden Schumach. Maybe it's Mock, I don't know, we'll find out later. But he's a lefty, and that's all that matters. And Nicky Lopez is a lefty. So what we're saying here is, looking at the left-handed batters going up against, McKenzie, that's a decent look today. So without really having much of a backlog or a handicapping shot, I'm not laying 225 here. I'll take the dog price here. Let's go White Sox.
And listen, like I said for the Marlins, who are 1-9, you would hope maybe a couple of those losses by at least just a run, and maybe they're 3-6 on the run line this year. No, but for the White Sox, who are 1-8, they're 5-4 on the run line. That's not terrible. Plus 1.5 is minus 115 of juice. If you think the Southsiders keep this within at least a run, if not win outright. 2 strong starts this year, maybe rather surprisingly for 2 teams that haven't done a ton in the last 5, 6, 7 years in Major League Baseball. The Tigers and the Pirates. Detroit 6-3 to start this year. They've a few in a row as well. The Pirates 8-2. Pittsburgh booked as a home favorite today with Mitch Keller on the bump, minus 124, total at 8.5. Who capitalizes on the strong start today at PNC?
Decent temperatures there in Pittsburgh, also been 66 degrees, light wind blowing out to left field, so good. We're starting to feel those vibes here of getting to some hitting weather. Reese Olson was very good, and I power number of 153 and a weighted on base percentage of 284 combined through 433 batters. That was fantastic. Now, 22 batters he's faced this year, Ben. ISO power number 053, weighted base percentage 234, which is very good. Mitchell, the veteran right-handed pitcher, will be on the mound today for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Last year was decent, struggled a little bit against left-handed batters, but this year against lefties, how about this? To start at the season, 15 he's faced, and 077 weighted on base percentage. So I hate to do this, but again, lining up towards, I'd be leaning on an under 8.5 in this game between these 2 pitchers, even though we're finally starting to see a little bit warmer temperatures here. I don't know if it translates just yet. I'll go under this game today.
So now we go from the American League Central team in Detroit to the National League Central team in Pittsburgh, looking at the NL Central overall. Everybody in the division at least 500 or better, and that includes both the Cubs and the Reds. Chicago 6-3, Cincinnati 5-4. The Cubs, though, on the road today in San Diego. I messed up something there. Oh, it's the Brewers and the Reds. Yeah, that's on me. That's bad hosting. Put that on me.
Same team.
Put that on me. That's on me, though. Central focus, though. Brewers also above 500. Who wins this game in
Yeah, if you take a look at Graham Ashcraft on the road last year quickly here, not a very good pitcher, so I the fact that the Milwaukee Bats are slightly hot in this, I'll take the Milwaukee Brewers in this game today.